Everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for being subscribed to this channel. If it's your first time here and you want to get connected with the UVH fam, links are below for our free options trading group along with our Discord, which I contribute to both pretty regularly. If you have questions, if you're newer, if you're more experienced, feel free to join. It's pretty judgment-free zone, just trying to create, good vibes in there, give back positivity, and no questions ever a dumb question. A lot of people are like, hey, did Nick quit YouTube? Did we close down UVH or whatever the case is? Because I was making regular daily live streams pretty much every day. Every day I was doing a new live stream, and things were going great. And what was starting to happen is that the channel started to gain a lot of momentum, a lot faster than I could imagine. And really on the back end, I wasn't really anticipating that, so we were a little bit disorganized. So what I've been doing the last couple months is organizing things, getting things back up to how I want it to be moving forward, so that way we have a lot of structure, a good foundation for moving forward. And we're going to be creating a lot more content, videos. We're launching a podcast. I'm currently working on the training as well. So we have a full training course coming out, and along with, like I said, podcasts, videos, we're going to be doing live streams. But really just took the time, took a step back, spent some time with the family, and also getting reorganized on the back end here. I'm just trying to create a good atmosphere. I really love engaging with you guys and girls, and just really just trying to push it towards that next level. And also I want to keep the quality of the content very high. Like I think what's good about this channel, what I like to do is kind of cut out the fluff and really just focus on quality content, and that's really what I want to do here. Today what I'm going to be talking about is what I'm looking for in the stock market. People want to, kind of pick my brain, and not that I know everything or whatever, but going into next week, I'm going to show you kind of what I'm looking for here, maybe some things on the horizon that may be a little dangerous or whatever the case is, but we're going to go through it. Right now on the SPY, if you're not sure what this is, it's an ETF that measures the S&P 500. We've been having a pretty significant downtrend since the 294, since we broke 294 up here. What was that? May 1st. So May 1st, we touched all-time highs, 294.95, and really just been kind of struggling since then. I mean, yes, we've had some two-sided action where we went from 294 all the way down to 280, and then we try to push back at 290, but just kind of hit some resistance a couple weeks ago. And as you can see, I was kind of thinking that we're going to get a little toppy up here. Last time we were up around 293, 294 area. We dropped all the way down to 270, and then to the 260 area. So I've been very hesitant to buy the dip. And if you've been wondering if I've been trading, yes, I've been actively trading. I just haven't been making YouTube videos. I have been posting all my trades in Discord, which you can follow along there. I've been posting my trades on Facebook as well. And primarily what I've been trading is SPY. I've been trading LYFT. I've been trading UBER. Those IPOs, just because there's a lot of movement, a lot of action, and I've been doing fairly well trading SPY as well. So I've been focusing on that and really trying to make more disciplined trades. It's not right now for me, it's not about making a lot of trades. It's about making good trades, about making disciplined trades. And right now, what I'm looking for in SPY, let's see if we can get down to like the low 270 area. A couple of things that are going to come into play. Let me bring this over here. On Friday the market was down because of the, Dow was down, as you can see over here. Dow was down over here about 385. S&Ps were almost down 40. NASDAQ was down a little bit over 100. And, what we're looking for on Friday, Trump says, hey, Mexico, we're going to hit 5% tariffs on June 10th. What are you going to do about it? Are we going to build this wall or not? And doesn't matter what side you're on, Republican, Democrat, these policies affect everyone, including Americans, people in Mexico, people in China, and also worldwide. Whatever, whether you like it or not, anything that impacts the global markets, the U.S., it impacts the global market. So if we're making changes to everybody else, and we're technically the biggest economy in the world, it's gonna matter. And then this morning, or actually a couple hours ago, China is blaming, which they have been. I think I posted this here. Where was it? Actually, I'm gonna bring up the Discord. Where did I say here? So let me bring this up. Okay, so this is what I said in the Discord earlier. It said China issued a report Sunday blaming the United States for the country's trade dispute and said it won't back down in major issues of principle, but offered no clarification about what additional steps it might take to up the ante. The report from the cabinet spokesman's office said that China has kept its word throughout 11 rounds of talks and will honor its commitments if a trade agreement is reached. If it accused the U.S. of backtracking 3 times over the course of the talks by introducing new tariffs and other conditions beyond what was agreed on. But the more the U.S. government is offered, the more it wants, it said, accusing America's negotiators of resorting to imitation and coercion. A country's sovereignty and dignity must be respected, and any agreement reached by the two sides must be based on equality and mutual benefit. So China's pissed, which they're kind of being held to their feet to the fire, and it's hard to say. I mean, this report was produced by China for the people of China, so they're of course going to blame America. Whether or not it's hard to say, because we don't know from the outside. We don't know what those negotiations are. They're saying, hey, China. We're trying to negotiate with you. You want more. You keep wanting more. You keep wanting more. But I don't know if we don't know if that's true. There's no way to fact check this. I mean, all these meetings are behind closed doors. We don't know what the actual negotiations are. They just keep saying, Trump and the White House, they keep saying, hey, we're in talks. The communication's going back and forth. Things are going good. But, for every time they say that, they never reach a deal, and they always say, hey, we're going to reach a deal by Friday, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And it has never happened. And I've been saying this for months and months and months, that every time people get excited, hey, there's going to be a deal. There hasn't ever been a deal. We just keep raising the tariffs, and eventually something's going to give, and then maybe an agreement will be made. Maybe it will. But right now it's not looking very good. Nothing. What is that? Nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. But it says earlier this month, U.S. President Donald Trump announced tariffs on $200 billion worth of goods, up from 10% to 25%. The U.S. has also begun investigating whether $300 billion of other Chinese goods could be subject to tariffs. So we're going to keep putting the pressure on. It says here, Wang would not confirm at a press conference Sunday whether Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping would meet at the G20 meeting at the end of June. So they don't know. Who knows? Basically, that's what they're saying. But basically, China's not happy because they feel like they're being ransomed. They're also not a country that wants to appear weak to the people. If they're saying, if we keep pressing, America keeps pressing, they're going to push back. It's just what they have to do, whether it's good for their economy or not. But they, right now everyone's trying to strong arm instead of saying, hey, what's good for your economy? What's good for my economy? And yes, we're accusing China of stealing trade secrets, which I agree. China cannot be stealing our IP or our intellectual property. They should not be stealing those things. But at the same time, they have the workforce for America to supply these things. We don't have that many people here that are skilled in those areas. They keep saying, let's bring jobs back. If you talk to anyone at Apple or Boeing and all those things, they said, yeah, we would love to bring jobs back to America, but we don't have enough skilled workers or that type of skill to meet the demand. If you look into it. I'm not going to cover it here because I've been kind of ranting on that. For me, what I'm looking here is low 270s on SPY and then probably low 260s. I don't think we're going to come to agreement. And right now things are getting a little hot. We might see some. The only thing that you might want to be concerned about right now is a little bit of two-sided action. Kind of like down here, but the downtrend is intact. So we're having lower highs. So the last high here was 289, and now we're down at 283, and now we're down at 275. So if we look at the 15-minute chart for SPY, Friday we gapped down, and then we pretty much just chilled the rest of the day. Really didn't miss much. If you didn't close out your positions on Friday, I had a losing position on SPI. I was down about $100, and I closed it out for exactly break even. I put the position on for 305. I took it off for 305, and I lost the $1 or $2 in commissions, which you're happy about. It wasn't expiring till Wednesday. Sure, I could have kept it on, but at that point in time, they really killed premium on here. So on these couple days, they just on Thursday, back and forth action just really killed the premium on that. Other stocks kind of looking out for right now. Apple's just taking a beating here, down from 215 all the way down to 175. They did gap up on their earnings, but only lasted a couple days. Keep making lower highs, and it's just nuts here. So I'm actively looking at Apple. Looking here down at the 170 area, reaching consolidation. One thing that I thought was interesting was AMD. So AMD, I don't know if you've been listening to the Bitcoin people. They're basically saying like, oh, Bitcoin's making a run. It was up 60%. It was up 60% in May. This is going to trickle down into the chips and graphics, stuff like that. And the interesting thing here is AMD IV is kind of going, as you can see here, it's starting to kind of crawl up. But literally, the price hasn't changed. Yes, they had earnings, and you could have made some money in the nice swing. Went from 24 up to 29. But it's really just trading in the $3 range. Not that exciting. Great trade for an iron condor or selling some premium in here. But eventually it's gonna move. And the question is it gonna break? Is it gonna top out here like it has in the past around the 28, 29 area, and then gap down to like the low 20s or move down to the low 20s? Or, it's not going to consolidate forever. So if I'm going to buy premium in here, I'm going to start buying stuff for a couple months out. Because you don't know. I know that AMD is going to move, but you don't know when. So you don't want to let's put something on for next week, or let's put something on for 2 weeks from now. You really want to be careful. You really want to give yourself time on something like this, 90 days, 120 days out. That's what I'd be looking at. Because if you're looking here, it's basically been the same price since April 3rd. And now it's June 2nd. So it's already been 60 days. If you didn't take some money here, definitely would be bleeding you out some premium. If you bought like the 30 calls, hope you did not buy the 30 calls, because that they would just be bleeding you out. You're like, oh, it's going to make another run. It looked like it was. It went from 20 up to, did touch 30, but now it's just kind of chilling. You really had to catch this run here back in March up into 20. Now it's just consolidating, which consolidation is healthy. But kind of speaking of chips, if you look at NVDA, for graphics, if you're thinking about the Bitcoin thing, I'm not seeing how this is lined up. NVIDIA should be up and people should be buying more because they're saying, Bitcoin's going to be profitable again to mine, and maybe it will. Maybe people are buying graphic cards, and maybe we'll get that in the next earnings report. But now we're retouching, 52-week lows. We're only $10 away from the 52-week low of 124.46. I do like NVIDIA down here. It does make it interesting because it does know into, as you can see, after it ran down here, went from 124 up to 160, back down to 130, back up to 160. So it's definitely exciting, but the one thing you got to be careful about is not getting a good deal. IV is going to be very, pretty high right now. It's not as high as it was after earnings, but it's IV starting to creep up here, and I think it'll definitely be a good trade. Like if we come down to like 125 area, I'm definitely going to put a trade on to that. Netflix as well, kind of the same story as AMD. Yes, it has slipped from 380 to 343, which is huge. but in the big scheme of things, this is the range it's been trading on. So like 340 here, I'm definitely liking this for more of a strangle play, because if it does break down, I mean, it's going to break down fast, but it could easily bounce up to like 380. What I'm looking at on there, Tesla's getting the 50% haircut here. Growing concerns with Tesla in regards to profitability. Are they going to run out of cash? I mean, they just raised $2 billion, but it's like 2.7 billion, but it's only supposed to last in the next 10 months. Elon's sending emails out to employees saying, hey, we really need to control costs here. We're going to personally review all spending while like executives are starting to leave and stuff like that. And it's kind of, I've talked about Tesla a lot before, where it's definitely interesting down here, like 185, 150 area. I had shares. I held them from 150 to 315, and then I actually bought shares at 300. I cut them at like 240. So, we lost a little bit of money on that, but we'll probably re-enter. The one thing that you have to think about is Elon Musk, betting against Elon Musk, and obviously the bears are out to get Elon. But one good report, the thing's gonna skyrocket. I mean, shorts are gonna have to be forced to cover. There's gonna be margin calls. I mean, people are shorting this to zero. And personally, like, I don't think I would bet against Elon Musk. I definitely don't think so. Like, I don't know if you looked into like Apple's history, but Apple, if you think about it, they should be bankrupt a long time ago. So when they kicked out Steve Jobs, they went through a heck of a hard time selling Macs, making money. When they said that they like, oh, we recognize what we did wrong, Steve, please come back. I mean, Apple only had 60 days left of cash left. They only had 60 days left of cash, and Steve Jobs turned the whole thing around. And now, it was a $1 trillion company. It's no longer, but I mean, it's still the top company in the U.S., right? So you have to think about it. Somebody like Elon Musk, he's not going to lie down. If you think about how many nights he spent in the factory, how hard he's worked to get to where he's at, how long he's been doing this for, how long, I mean, sure, I mean, maybe his debt bubble will burst and the thing will go down into flames, but you have to think about, this is kind of a war right now. So he's at a war with investors. He's at a war with the bears. He's at a war with the automotive industry in general. So you have to be careful here. I definitely wouldn't underestimate Elon Musk in this. I mean, I think it's good here. I would prefer Tesla at like 150, but if it bottoms out here, I mean, I would put some bullish strangles on for sure. Maybe buy a few shares and see what happens and get a nice bounce up to like 250 to the 250 area. But right now it's just getting slaughtered. So if you are trading this, just be very careful. Wait for IV to die down a little bit, which it has. I would prefer it to come down to like this range, around the 0.63 area. Right now it's a little bit high. I mean, it went high because it literally went from 260 down to 285. A couple green days up here. If it makes a push to 200, should crush premium quite a bit. If anything, probably would want to, if you're bullish, you want to sell some puts, maybe sell a pretty wide iron condor, but you got to be careful. If it has a couple up days, I mean, it's going to fly fast, and you don't want to get in danger of on the call side, but it will crush premium. So don't get greedy with it. I definitely think premium could be crushed here. So that's kind of the thing. I'm not going to make this video too long. I just kind of want to go through over some of the things that I'm looking at. Oh, I want to talk about LYFT. LYFT has been pretty exciting. Since their IPO went from 88 down to 47, now it's kind of making a push up to 60. And Uber, they just had earnings on Friday. They reported a $1 billion loss, but they said, hey, it was revenue was better than expected. Who knows? But be on the lookout for Uber and LYFT. Definitely, they've been making money, been fun to trade. I'm glad to have some new stocks to trade in the portfolio here, some new tickers. But anyways, getting back to that, you're going to be seeing some fresh content from us. Stay safe, stay green. Leave a comment below. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on this video. It's always us for a cert.